Today on the channel, we got one of the big ones as we count down my top 10 G.I. Joe Classified Series figures for 2025.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, back again with another Best of 2025 countdown video, and today we got maybe the biggest one of the year. I guess depends what you like, and you like what you like, you don't what you don't, as we know. But the classified line, gun to my head, probably my favorite line going today over the last couple of years. A very special line to OGs that collected G.I. Joe in the 80s until today, I guess. And if you were there like me as a kid playing in the 80s, and then you're late teen, early 20s with the 25th anniversary line coming out to reignite the passion to what we get today as the Joes and Cobra, Dreadnoks, all points in between of what we imagined how they were when we played with them to actually getting those live in hand with the Classified Series line has been a pretty fun story arc, bookends of my life, whatever you want to call it, and I'm enjoying the Classified line more and more every single day. Had a banner year for the Classifieds in 2025, as it truly felt like for some parts of the year, we were getting a Classified figure every single day. I think there was one span of like almost 3 weeks where we did a different Classified figure every single day. Some of the shipping stuff was a little wonky this year, but man, it was a lot of fun. It was expensive, but it was fun. But I absolutely love getting these Classified Series figures. Reminds me of my childhood, my playing days, iconic characters I've seen throughout decades. Just a lot of fun. And we got to throw Duke under the bus a time or two this year, Todd McFarlane. That's always fun as well. And hopefully you guys are in on that joke. A lot of people aren't. And I get it in the hate mails and the death threats. Can you believe it? Death threats to this beautiful face. What are we doing out there, people? But I do love joking around. You guys know that. We joke around on this channel. That's what we do. But I love the G.I. Joe Classified line, and we're going to celebrate the best of the Classified today in this countdown. We're going to start at number 10. Work our way to number one being my absolute favorite G.I. Joe Classified figure of 2025. One of the hardest lists ever to put together, and as I always say, this is my list. Put your list in the comments below. Both of our lists can be right, but an extremely difficult list, as we always do say on the channel. And this one probably the hardest to do this year because a lot of it goes to nostalgia. A lot of it goes for a passion for the character. A lot of it goes through how awesome was the figure. There's a lot of things that come into these lists, and we're going to see it right here. Starting off, number 10. All right, we begin the countdown at number 10, and number 10 could be the surprise of the Joe line this year. When it was first announced, I want to say at San Diego Comic-Con, I kind of shrugged my shoulders. No nostalgia with this one. It's getting the most out of your molds with a little bit of a twist, but man, if it didn't all work when they put this together. An amazing figure that I bought 2 of so far. I'm planning on getting a third one. Hopefully, maybe I'll get a deal somewhere. Got to get a deal at the end of the day. Where are we going? Well, we're going to the Ghost Viper. That's where we're going. You got to get the most out of your molds, as we always say, so you can do things like this. Re-release them with some twists and turns along the way, and giving Crystal Ball his own team, which I think is very cool as well. Giving an ancillary character a little bit of his own unit makes a lot of sense and works for selling action figures, as we've seen here. But a deluxe figure with a heck of a lot of a loadout. There's different looks you can do for the character, different hands, different positions. You can have him a straight up Viper. You can have him with the ghost elements. And then even better than that, we get Serpentor Snake back again. And we even get a wolf from Snake Eyes. So we get 2 of the different wolves right here. I did use the different heads, make them as different as possible. Once again, we got Crystal Ball's unit right here. So quite the loadout on this one, quite the fun on this one, and absolutely shocked finding this on the shelf way early this year. One of the highlights of the fig hunts this year on the channel every single Friday was finding this one when it wasn't even supposed to be released yet. Just some of those things that bring you back to your childhood, not expecting to see something and seeing something added to a lot of fun and excitement. And like I said, I'm on the hunt for maybe one more of these for my collection. We'll see where it goes, but number 10, going to be the Ghost Viper. Countdown rages on to the number 9 selection. And I don't know about you, maybe you're different than me, but when I think of G.I. Joe, I obviously go to the cartoon first. Then I go to the G.I. Joe figures of the 80s. Then I go to the comic book. That's how I came into it. I know There's people older than me that came in comic book first. I understand that. I enjoyed the comic book. I don't know, 20 years ago, I read through issues like 1 through 120, whatever it was at the time. Larry Hama, an all-timer, of course, good friend of the channel once again. Loved all the things Joe's, loved all of them, but I always go back to the cartoon first. And where am I going with this at number 9? Well, the number 9 selection character performer, I can always hear their voice. So he's got one of those iconic voice like a lot of the cartoons had in the 80s, but this guy, very iconic, a bit of a plain figure, but in a way, the plainness makes him stand out. And that's always interesting in toy lines. And that's what we got here at number 9. Everybody cut loose, everybody Footloose. Love to get Footloose. A white whale of the 25th anniversary collection for me. One of the few figures I'm missing from that collection, mint on card. One day I'll pick that one up, hopefully. But this Footloose is amazing. Very minimalistic. Looks like he walked straight out of Vietnam. And Todd, you and I had our own troubles this year with Vietnam and the Mattel Elite line. Let's save that for that video. But it looks like he walked right out of Vietnam, ready to go, ready to support Flint, of course, right out there on the front lines. We know how he does it, Flint and Footloose. Absolutely love it. Those F's got to stay together, Todd McFarlane. But Footloose is an amazing figure. And like I said, minimalistic, but sometimes that makes him a little bit more special. And that's why Footloose comes in at number 9 on my top 10 list. Feeling great at number 8, and I have to imagine number 8's in almost everybody's top 10 list. This is an amazing figure in every aspect of it. Now, one thing that's great that also is a curse for the G.I. Joe classified line is a lot of figures, you're like, I got to buy multiples of these because I want to display all the looks, the different heads, the different weapons, the different features. I want to buy multiples, and that is tough. And I've been doing that with a lot of figures, playing the long game, putting them on different shelves, just like you do with Captain America, Wolverine, and your Marvel Legends, etc., etc. But this one, I really couldn't do that because of the cost, as it was tied to the HasLab, the Rattler. Who are we going to at number 8? We're going to the Baroness, and dare I say, this could be the best Baroness so far in the classified line. We've got quite a few, from the really rough ones from the Snake Eyes origin movie to the greatest one right here. So fun, and so many different hair, helmet options, glasses options for this one. Makes my head spin, and it is unfortunate I couldn't buy 3 or 4 of these in my collection for all the different looks. Now, that being said, you know Baroness, she's a tip-top performer over on the Cobra. She always gets exceeds expectation in her performance review every single year, in more ways than one, is what I've heard. Have to imagine we'll reuse this head in the future in the classified line, some of the hair, all that kind of stuff. So fingers crossed that happens down the line. But an amazing figure that unfortunately I could only get one of this year is the Baroness from the HasLab. Coming in, number 8. We've hit the number 7 spot in the countdown, and we've already evoked this guy's name in the countdown already today. Another one of those great 2-in-1 figures. And Todd McFarlane from the couch, this guy is a real dick. And some may say he's even the king of the dicks. He is the Dick King himself, Crystal Ball. Oh, never forget Crystal Ball. Now, some people didn't like Crystal Ball back in the old days. I loved him as a little kid. I loved him, Raptor, all points in between. I was eating it up with a fork and a spoon, even dabbled in the spork from time to time. So I was excited for this Crystal Ball, and I have to say, this Crystal Ball, way better than I imagined he was going to be. They added a lot of great hallmarks here, gave a lot of it in a year where Stephen King is pretty popular, as he did get his name from Stephen King, as we do know. Fitting that he came out this year with all the Stephen King stuff, the It movies and everything else coming around. Absolutely love this one. Another 2-in-1, a Walmart exclusive, making it a little challenging for some, but got to display both looks for Crystal Ball for me in my collection. Absolutely love this figure, coming in at number 7. Next up, we're at number 6, and number 6, one of my absolute all-time favorite performers. This guy has been around from my childhood in 2 different properties, and when I think of which property I think of him more from, it is the G.I. Joe line. Some go wrestling, I go G.I. Joe. What's a Nemesis Enforcer? Real ones get that joke from once upon a time when I met the Sarge, and he didn't know. I know he knows now, but we got Sergeant Slaughter from the Mercer 2-pack. A set so nice, I bought it twice. Love this Sergeant Slaughter here. Now, it's not your official Sergeant Slaughter, what you think of with wrestling or G.I. Joe, but I love the different variances on this one. Just a fun, big, buff figure. A guy that's ready to go toe-to-toe with Nemesis Enforcer on a moment's notice. Absolutely love the Sarge. A great guy, met him multiple times throughout the years. And like I said, he knows what a Nemesis Enforcer is now. 12 years ago, it was a little fuzzy for him. But here we are today, loving this Sergeant Slaughter. Hopefully we'll get more in the classified line in 2026. I know some people are slaughtered out, but not me. Give me all the Sergeant Slaughters. And the one from the 2-pack with Mercer comes in number 6. We've hit the halfway spot in the countdown. You got your list together. Put it in the comments down below. Subscribe to this channel and my other YouTube channel for all kinds of content each and every single day. And we got so many best of 2025 lists here as we finish up 2025 into 2026. A lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to dive into. But here we are at number 5. And number 5 really made me scratch my head. Do I leave this off the list? Does it count for this list? Should it be in a miscellaneous figure list? But I went back and forth on it. I said, at the end of the day, it's part of the Classified Series line. It came in the Classified Series line. It is articulated. It is a figure, so it does count. Coming in at number 5 from the 2-pack with Snake Eyes, we're going straight up polar bear. Yep, we're going to a polar bear at number 5, an articulated polar bear. I'm here for this. I love hairy bipedal creatures, and he gets bipedal from time to time, but I absolutely love it when we get animals going back to the early days of the G.I. Joe line. I've said it before in my unboxings. If a figure back in the 80s came with a reptile, a bird, a dog, whatever it may have been, he moved to the top of my list for pickups. Same thing handles here today. I'm completing the whole line, so I'm all in, but either way, this moves to the top of my list. And to get an articulated polar bear from such a key episode of the G.I. Joe cartoon back in the day, it just felt right. So nice. I'm going to get another one of these. We're starting to see this go to clearance. I need another polar bear in my collection, and that's what I'm going to do. I'll sell off the Snake Eyes, get another polar bear, and I'll be living that polar bear dream in the Arctic, maybe something like that. But an amazing polar bear that I can see other people using in other toy lines. It just makes sense. So cool to have this in the collection. Never would have thought we got this, but when they revealed it, my mind was blown. It's still blown here today. Coming at you at number 5 is the G.I. Joe polar bear. Countdown continues at number 4, and number 4 is the most controversial thing I think we got going on the channel here today. Coming at number 4, we go to the retro card series. We go to the true leader of G.I. Joe. We go to Flint, and I always hate how I have to explain what a true leader is. Some people say, oh, there's that clip in the cartoon. First it goes Hawk. Yeah, we know how the whole ranking goes. Everybody knows that. But when you get down to it, you get down to the nuts and bolts, go to your day job. Go to your day job, wherever you work. If you're working at McDonald's, you're working at a grocery store, wherever you're working, the CEO of that company, the president of that company, do you view them as the true leader? In some instances, yes, you do. But you might view a coworker, maybe your shift leader, maybe some guy you're a brother arm in arm with out there in the front lines. That's the true leader for you. That's the compass. That's the guy you look to for advice. And that's why a guy like Flint is the true leader of G.I. Joe. And I have to explain that all the time. And it's a wild thing. And a lot of people like that Duke. We saw what happened with him and his computer mainframe trying to wipe it this year. We heard about how he caught the headquarters on fire this year. So many Duke stories, so little time. Maybe we could recap them all one day. I don't know. But Flint is my personal favorite G.I. Joe from when I was a kid. So you knew this was going to be on the line. Is it the perfect Flint? Absolutely not. If it was perfect, it would be at number 1, but it does come in at number 4 here. Unfortunately, absolutely god-awful card art on this one. They did my boy extra dirty. Luckily, I'm not necessarily a min and box collector, but man, oh man, they did Flint dirty. They tried to recover with an extremely limited Flint, which I did luckily get this year. That's always great to have those limited edition pieces, especially for my boy Flint. But man, oh man, that one wasn't even the best they could have done. So they're really doing Flint dirty there. Not sure exactly what's up with that. And I don't like the limited edition nature either. I know some people love it. I'm not a huge fan of that. Is what it is. So it's been a weird year for Flint. I am hoping next year we get some more Flint figures. I guess we know we're going to get one because we're getting that Flint figure. And then what are they throwing in with a bonus? Oh yeah, the Snow Cat. You got that Flint. Was the HasLab Flint this year, and then there was the Snow Lab with it, or the Snow Cat with it. So that was pretty awesome. So we got that one coming. A lot of cool Flints that they could do. I would love the Cobra Disguise Flint. Let's get all the Flints out there. Let's get the Eco Warriors Flint, the true leader of the Eco Warriors. Let's get, of course, maybe a make do on the Tiger Force. Let's get that back out there. They could also do that Desert Flint. There's so many Flints, so little time, but I love this one for what it is. It could be better, but I'll take what I can get at Flint at this point. Coming in at number 4, Retro Card Flint. Down to the final 3. The number 3 spot here goes back to my childhood where I got a lot of action figures as a kid. G.I. Joe was my main line I collected. And you know me, I had a checklist. I was ready to go every time I went to the store. Every time I saw grandma, every time I saw my dad, every time I saw my aunts and uncles. You know, it'd be great to pop into this Walmart here. You know, they got G.I. Joes. You know how it was. You were a kid once. But this one I always dreamed of having as a kid. Watching the G.I. Joe movie, seeing her in action, but never getting her childhood figure was always disappointing for me. The wrong was righted many years later when I was older and a mint on card collector in the 25th anniversary line, so I still have that in my collection. But this year of 2025, we finally got her as a deluxe exclusive. You guys know where we're going. We're going to Cobra Law. We're going to Pythona. How about Pythona, ready to rock and roll, strut and stroll? We know what she's up to here. Always looking good. Yeah, looking good. Pythona here today. At number 3, a little harder to get, but not really. A lot of people were very worried about this one. Obviously harder to get because it wasn't available at Target and Walmart. But if you went to Hasbro Pulse, you poked around, you could land this in your collection. And we're really doing a good job building out Cobra Law. It's going to be great when we finally get Globulus. Wouldn't be shocked to see him soon. Talking with the G.I. Joe team at San Diego Comic-Con, they are all in on Globulus, and I hope they go all out for Globulus. Give us that big egg, give us the snake tail, give us all that stuff. You got to give us a second head with the dagger in the eye. We got to get all that stuff. And I talked to Lenny at length for about an hour about it, so he's on the same page as me. Fingers crossed we see that in 2026, but 2025, feeling amazing, looking amazing, with Pythona coming in at number 3. Here we go, we're at the number 2 selection, and number 2 I struggled with as well a little bit. We talked about that polar bear. Is it a figure, is it not? This one I struggled because I counted it as one thing, and definitely altogether it is stronger than being individual. So I'm going at number 2. We're going to San Diego Comic-Con. Beautiful this time of year, especially in 2025. And we're going to the Dreadnok's box set. Now, the Dreadnok's Cold Slither box set, more importantly. I've been dreaming of Cold Slither since I was a little kid. Obviously, Cold Slither, a evil heavy metal band, right up little Kyle's alley once upon a time. Heck, right up my alley right now. Absolutely love this set. From the box, from the figures, everything here is absolute perfection. A deep cut, a moment in time, a perfect San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, as this isn't for everybody, but man, oh man, is it for me. Bringing G.I. Joe and heavy metal together, and then you got the Cold Slither band in real life now. Shout out to Gus out there holding things down with that. Hopefully get more of that in the future. I love heavy metal music around G.I. Joe. What more could you want? Hopefully they don't do dirty Flint in any songs, though. That's what we got to watch out for that. But anxious to see where the Cold Slither band goes, and I absolutely love this. And just recently on the channel, I did buy the G.I. Joe stage for this, the Cold Slither, of course, 3D printed stage. Check out that review if you missed it. Just a very cool way to display a Cold Slither band. I love the Dreadnoks. I love Cold Slither. Just a lot of fun right here. And this one as a whole comes in at number 2. Here we go. We're at the number 1 spot. You got your list together? Put it in the comments down below. And remember, this is my list. Put your list in the comments. And your list is right. My list is right. All works, all's well. Don't forget to like the video too while you're here. But here we are at the number 1 G.I. Joe classified figure of 2025 for me. Very controversial once again. It's tough to top number 2, but I had to be realistic with this one. And that one felt like cheating a little bit because there's so many figures in that. But if I had to be honest with myself, and we're always honest, it's an honest first channel. Well, ladies first, then honest second, I guess, channel. But number 1 for me is an amazing one. And I remember as a little kid, nostalgia is a huge part of these videos of my fandom, all that kind of stuff, and all the properties we do countdowns of. But this one was a home run from the get-go. They made it even better than the original one. We're going to the Dreadnoks universe once again. We just talked Cold Slither, and I was always a Dreadnoks guy, but one of my absolute favorites, Monkeywrench, coming in at number 1, an amazing all-around figure. Details all over the place, extra weapons, the removable glasses, the scar on his face, even him being on the back of the Cold Slither was a nice little Easter egg, but just an absolutely amazing figure. And we always think of the core Dreadnoks. Obviously you got Zartan, and then you got Buzzer, Ripper, Torch. We think of those 3, but it really did go to 4 with Monkeywrench. And we had a lot more Dreadnoks. Can we get Zanzibar one of these days? But Monkeywrench always felt like a natural 4 horsemen of the Dreadnoks. Loved Monkeywrench as a kid, loved him in the cartoon, loved him in the action figures, loved him across the board, and no more love than this year of 2025, where we, dare I say, got the perfect Monkeywrench figure. So perfect. He eked out, just eked out. It's a thin line between 1, 2, and 3, let me tell you. But he eked out the Cold Slither box set to be the number 1 classified figure of 2025 for me. Monkeywrench taking the top spot. Man, oh man, what a hard list to do. Be very interested to see your guys' list. I could see Heavy Duty being at the top of some of these people's lists. I was never a big Heavy Duty fan, but the figure's absolutely amazing. There's so many great options this year, and that tells you how great the toy line is, where somebody could have 10 totally different figures in this countdown, and I would say, yeah, I could see that. I could see that. That's how good the classified line is firing on all cylinders, and I hope that carries over into 2026. Fingers crossed that happens. But there it is. That's my top 10 classified figures of 2025. Once again, get your list together. Put it in the comments down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channels, hit up Patreon, hit up YouTube channel memberships to support the channel. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com, which is also the name of my podcast, Kyle Peterson Show, available every Tuesday wherever podcasts are found, and of course on YouTube as well. And that's it for another countdown, one of the biggest ones, the top 10 G.I. Joe classified figures of 2025. I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?